Welcome to today's episode of Be Your Greatest Asset, the Wellbeing series to inspire mums in business to really put yourself first. So today I'm delighted to introduce Imke, who I'm talking to from New Zealand. I'm in the UK, and technology's united us today, which is incredible. So we're going to be talking today about women's empowerment and body image specifically. So Imke, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
I would love to. Thank you for having me. So, yeah, my name is Imke. I am originally from Germany, been living in New Zealand for 10 years, and I do a lot of things. First and foremost, I'm a mum of two. I am a photographer. I host retreats. I have my own podcast. I am currently writing a book that I'm hoping to publish next year. I host cacao ceremonies. I am certified in breathwork. I have my Reiki level 2. I also do sound immersions and overall just a light worker, bringing light into the world, sharing my medicine and empowering women on their journeys.
I love this. It's so inspiring to hear you say all of these things that you're so passionate in. Like, we can be so multifaceted in what we do and what we offer to the world. And it's incredibly inspiring that somebody somebody may be listening saying, oh, I really wanted to do breath work but I can't because so you're doing it, and you're doing it all, and you're doing it well. So yeah, amazing. And I also love the fact that you said first and foremost I'm a mum, because I
The
think
most
that's something.
important job.
Yeah, well, it's something that I used to forget. Like my business, I was so passionate about my business that I forgot that actually my priority was my children. So I've had to retrain myself to, like, the family is first, the business fits into the family, not the other way around. So yeah, wonderful. So let's talk about body image, and I think you specifically want to talk about photography and how you can capture such beauty in an instant. So yeah, tell us your thing.
So I believe photography has the ability to shift perspective. So especially for those women listening who are not very confident in their body at the moment, I recommend stepping outside your comfort zone, jumping in front of the camera and letting someone show you what they see in you, because photographers have a different perspective, a different way of looking at you, and you might just look at the images and think, wow, I actually look like that. And we have a very different perspective when we look in the mirror, I believe. So my gift that I'm bringing to my clients is very much not just taking photos, but first and foremost, making them feel safe, making them feel worthy, making them feel accepted. And it's a real gift to empower them, to let them shine, let them really freely move and be and not worry about any judgment. And creating that safe space is the base to get good results in the photos as well. And I just want to mention here a movie that really has changed my life, a beautiful documentary available on Netflix. It's called Embrace, and it's all about body image and the different ways of how women struggle in life, what challenges they may face. And it's really, yeah, shifted my perspective and opened me up to so much compassion to everyone going on their own journey, everybody having their own feelings. And it's really, yeah, opened my heart even more.
Oh, that's such a beautiful, beautiful story. So you said about looking in the mirror. So has it always been the same for you, or how did this journey start for you? Like what switched in you to say, right, actually, I'm going to look at myself in the mirror.
I
And
believe I'm
beauty.
re yeah, I believe I'm really, really blessed by the way I have been raised. My mum was a very confident woman. She very much embraced like her natural grey hairs, never coloured her hair, was very confident wearing all sorts of colours of the rainbow, and very, yeah, very confident woman. And I believe the way I have been raised is very confident. I've also did a lot of swimming when I was younger, so there was a lot of no hiding. Like when you have your
Yeah,
talks on, there's not
yeah.
much you can hide. So and even in the changing room, nudity was something I was very comfortable with because it was always around me. And yes, there was looking and like maybe comparing a little bit, but it was just like, yeah, we're all different. We all have the same parts, they're just slightly different, and kind of just embracing the diversity of being human. And yeah, another thing that I did growing up is we had our own sauna in our house. So I
Oh,
have
wow.
3 older siblings, and just being naked around other human beings and being comfortable and feeling safe. I
Yeah,
believe that has a huge impact on your body image of just being, "I'm just me, whether I have clothes on or not. It's just, this
yeah,
is me, this is my body." And yeah, the safety, aspect in my life, I think, has helped me to feel safe in my body. That's I think I will keep coming back to the safety. That is, if you feel safe, then you can feel empowered, and a lot of people, unfortunately, don't feel safe, so
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That's my story, and I have noticed a lot of people around me either struggling with motherhood, changing and shifting their bodies through motherhood has really, yeah, spiraled them into this dark place of, "I'm not who I used to be, my body has changed," and then there's so much pressure on from society to jump back into post-baby or, like,
yeah,
how you
yeah,
used to look, and I guess maybe bounce back quickly, but for me, it didn't matter. For me, it mattered that I had a healthy baby, and I was like, "I'm actually sad that I don't have, baby stripes and no stretch marks because, you guys got proof that you had a baby." People look at me and they don't even
yeah,
believe that I had babies, so
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. It's interesting because you talk about the nudity and not hiding and everything. We have quite an open door policy in our house, really. If I don't want the boys to see me, then I have my door shut. But quite often I will get changed with the doors open. We kind of shower in front of each other as well. So my boys are 11 and 7 now. And if my my kind of view is that if you don't want to see my body, then leave the room. Or if you come into my bedroom and see me naked and don't like it, then you shouldn't have come in, kind of thing. If the door's closed, that means I want privacy. um
Yeah.
and yeah, and there have been occasions when, like, my youngest, and probably both of them at various points, they've laughed at my breasts or whatever. Like, I was like, well, actually, I'm proud of these because they fed you until you were 13 months old, and and yes, I have a wobbly tummy, but that's because you stretched me. And you wouldn't be here if I didn't have a wobbly tummy. So it's very much a mindset thing, when I think when we actually really look at it in detail about why do we have wobbly bits after having children. Oh,
I think
it's
it's telling a story, and like I said before, it's like
yes.
proof that your body has expanded with love, and it's a miracle as a
Oh, it's
woman,
beautiful.
especially, I believe. Yeah, I'm a big fan of women. I love photographing women and really celebrating that expansion. And yeah, I believe it's something that society needs to work on altogether as a collective, that we
Yeah,
celebrate, and not just the glowing mama, but also the what comes after that, the breastfeeding, the changing breasts, yeah, maybe your boobs won't look the same afterwards, but how
yeah,
beautiful that you're literally keeping a human being alive. Like, yeah,
yeah,
I'm mesmerized by women.
yeah. No,
I love
I
celebrating them.
aren't we beautiful? We're just such powerful beings. We're such powerful beings. And I take you back to something you said earlier as well about the grey hairs. That's really interesting. That's inspired me today personally, because under this dye I am very grey now. And I found my first grey hair when I was 22, and having my second baby really accelerated that process. We were doing house renovations at the same time, and it was really stressful. I had burnout, and it was, yeah. And I actually said, well, I've been toying with the idea recently about it, but I actually said to my mum the other day, I'm going to just chop all my hair off really short and just let it grow out quickly and naturally, and then let it grow grey. She went, "Oh, Michelle, you're not." And there is that stigma about, like,
Oh, yeah.
but for me, like, having grey hair, like, I'm thinking, well, it will save me a fortune on, anti or fortune money, no hairdressing fees, no whatever. It would save the environment because there's no dyes going down. And I'm embracing my full, truest, natural self right now, and I can't change it. That's the thing; we cannot change who we are at the end
And
of
you
the
might
day.
even inspire lots of other women to be like, "Look at her, she's so
Exactly.
beautiful." I look at gray hair as like the wise woman. Like, I have a friend, she's same age as me, and she has complete gray hair. I think she's beautiful, and I love that she's
Yeah.
embracing it.
I love that you've brought that through, actually, because that's really, yeah, that's so inspired me today. So thank you for that. What else? What other gems, nuggets have you got for us? Nuggets of wisdom.
I believe being held in a safe space as you are, like whether that is emotionally or physical, is the key to empowerment, because how are we meant to empowered if we're feeling anxious or not safe or feeling judgment or shame. Those are kind of like the opposite feelings of being empowered and being liberated. And something I often see in my photo shoots. So I don't just get to the photo shoot and start clicking away. I kind of create a space of how are you feeling? How, like, what is our intention for this session? And really tuning in, depending on the client, maybe doing a meditation, and yeah, really tuning into the client, what they need at that time. And often
Yeah.
before we even start shooting, they cry because they're like, I've never felt so safe before. I've never felt so
Oh,
accepted.
wow.
And often it's like breaking down these barriers, this mask of this is what I should be doing, or like they start wearing makeup and then the tears wash it away. And I'm like, that's your pure essence. That's your magic underneath, you know, of
Yeah.
course. And I think that's another golden nugget that I'm currently navigating. There is no right or wrong. Like whether you keep your armpit hair, shave your legs, do makeup, dye your hair, do what feels right for you. There's
Yeah.
no right or wrong. Like there's, I guess, even in the opposite of, I need to, I don't know, do this so I look better to the society standard. There's also the opposite where you like, I want to be fully natural, but I don't actually like this, or I have a friend, she really dislikes perfume, and I personally really like it. And I kept thinking, oh, I'm not natural enough if I use perfume. And then eventually I realized she doesn't like perfume, but she uses makeup. So, you know, that works for her. I
Yeah.
don't like makeup, but I love perfume. So that
Yeah.
works for me. And really coming back to your integrity and asking yourself, why do you do these things? Do you do these things because you think you should? Do you think you need to impress someone? Are you worried about what other people think? And really coming back to yourself and tuning into your body and maybe closing your eyes and really asking yourself, why am I choosing this?
Yeah.
And then ask whatever answer may come through, you might be like, because I worry what people think, because I'm scared of judgment, because that what everybody does, you know, and really coming back to what do I want? And sometimes that little tiny voice within us is like a whisper and really quiet. But yeah, that's one of the many things why I love holistic health, because it helps you to tune into your intuition and make that voice a little louder every day.
It's gorgeous. And I love the fact that you do meditation with them before. I mean, are they, when people book you for photography, are they aware that they're going to get this full, amazing, magical package? Do you actually express that prior to
I
the
have a lot of different levels. So yes, my
yeah.
signature offer is very much we sit for an hour, we have cacao, we do some breath work, we really uncover what's stopping you from embodying your higher self and really go there. And then an hour of shooting. So that's a 2 hour signature offer. And then I also do just photo shoots. But sometimes I just feel like, okay, they're feeling really anxious, they're not feeling ready, and I don't want to get straight into the shoot when I know someone is feeling like that, because it will reflect in the photos. So photos are not just a reflection of what you see, but it also captures the energy in that moment. So if that person feels feeling liberated, it will reflect the energy in the photo. And if you look at it again, you will feel that energy again. That's why creating a safe space first, having this liberated woman smile at the camera, embodying her higher self. If you look at the photos later, you'll be like, oh my God, that's me. Look at me. That's her. That's my higher self that I've like intentionally embodied in that time. And photos can really help sometimes to anchor in of, I did that. Look
Mm,
at me. I'm proud of me. And just this, yeah, it helps embody and integrate that higher self energy.
that's gorgeous. Yeah. And I mean, I feel that we can bring this into our daily lives as well. Obviously, not with having a photographer by our sides, but talking about embodying that the higher self energy. Um, just walking through the street, for example, like I've dropped the boys off at school in the morning and I'm walking through our local village and I might go into the shops and I feel I'm having a day where I feel really good about myself. I've embraced, you know, the messy hair, the windswept hair, whatever. And I'm really happy. I'm chatting to people. I feel confident to talk to people. I'm smiling at people. I feel the draw, people drawn to me. And you become magnetic, don't you? Whereas those days when I'm feeling really tired and really, you know, and I kind of shrink into myself and you don't talk to as many people, you just don't, the connection with the world around you just isn't as strong.
I want to bring in there that you're not meant to be the same every day.
I
We're
agree.
especially as women, we go through cycles, our menstrual
Yes.
cycle, whether we're bleeding or not, we're having a hormonal cycle that we go through. Very different to men. Men are very much like the sun, up and down every day. And we women, we go through phases of like, yes, the full moon energy, you might feel like embracing your higher self, but there may also be like the new moon or the opposite, wherever you, yeah, synchronize with the moon. But for me, it's like the new moon is when I just want to hide, don't want to be seen, feel a bit darker, feel a bit more like hibernation. And having that awareness around where you are in your menstrual cycle, and then allowing yourself, having compassion for yourself of, I don't have to shine today. I can just be here and not be seen, and that's okay, and not
Yeah.
judging yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have to embrace that. We don't have to feel positive all the time. We don't have to look our best all the time, but just know that, when when you want to, go for it. And if not, then that's absolutely fine. Yeah, it's not we're human at the end of the day, and we have emotions, and I think the key sometimes is to keep that emotion, that stable, even keel, and snap back as quickly as you can. But we're naturally dip, and I love that you brought that through then, with the cycles, especially with like the menstrual cycle, and like the new moons, and having rest days the day before. Do you have rest days the day before,
Yes, yes.
um on the dark moon? Do you try and do
I,
that?
I very much am connected to the moon, and my cycle shifts and changes as I go,
Yeah.
but yeah, very much connected and aware of, okay, I'm feeling like this, like premenstrual is when I try to just hibernate and be on my own.
Mm.
That's when solitude is like really nourishing. And just being aware of, we were talked a little bit about mum guilt a bit earlier, and I want to bring that into not try and snap out of it, not try and judge yourself for I'm feeling guilt, I'm feeling shame, I'm feeling this about myself, but really just acknowledging the feeling. That's how we move through it. A lot of the times we suppress the feeling and hope that the be positive, be happy. I'm like, no, actually you're allowed to be sad, you're allowed to be frustrated, you're allowed to be angry. Feel it, move through it, and
Yeah.
then you can move on. Because if you just suppress it, it's still going to be there. It's going to be there like a niggle, and then you probably build and build and build, and then eventually you snap, and then
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh, where did that come from? Because you
It
didn't
seemed
feel
to.
it in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's so true. Yeah. And I find, I'm interesting to hear if you find the same, that the more you are aware of these emotions, the more you observe them, the more you process them. As you said, they keep coming up, but then the quicker you can process them, and the quicker you can snap back, bounce back. Do you find that as well?
Yeah, I think awareness is key, and like observing yourself and not making it mean anything, and just being like, I'm feeling frustrated right now. And even like communicating, I would do that a lot with my children. I'm like, I am frustrated, not you frustrate me, but really being careful
Mm,
of your words there, and being like, yeah, this is how I'm feeling right now. I'm owning that emotion and not blaming anyone. And like the self responsibilities is, I believe, where we can shift a lot of how our children learn how to express emotions as well.
yeah. Yeah, totally agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very much like, oh, I'm sorry, like I was a bit grumpy then. I am really tired. And
Mm.
yeah, I went to bed too late last night or whatever, and it's my fault. It's not your fault, kind of thing. So, but that lifts you as well. Actually, taking ownership of those emotions. I find that it actually really boosts my mood. I'm proud of myself for owning up,
Yeah,
putting my
yeah.
hands up. Yeah, sorry, kids. um, yeah, and then that actually boosts me for the day, and I feel a bit more confident again and happier. And yeah, hopefully that comes across in my body image as I'm walking around. And yeah, so we bring it back to like the photography and like the body image then. So what would your number one, or if you've got any tips you would want to share, like specific tips to break down how to feel really amazing in your body, really empowered and confident and beautiful, and
I have a lot of rituals. I could go through them all, and people might be like, oh my God, I don't have time for that. But I believe it's often starting with one thing.
yeah.
And then when you have that as a habit and it's just coming naturally, then adding the second thing. So it's not like I started all these things in 1 week. I very much build and build over time. Then whenever that felt like a natural habit, then I would add something. So my morning starts, I wake up, I keep my eyes closed and really tune to 3 things I'm grateful for. So that is just to the mindset work around not getting too grumpy, like not being like, "Ah, it's too early to be awake. Why did the kids wake me up?" And just be like, "I'm grateful for this comfy bed. I'm grateful to be awake and alive." Like it can be simple things. It doesn't have to be huge. Then I start my day with 2 glasses of water. If I have lemon, I add some lemon, and that's really the hydration. I think a lot of people these days, they start with coffee and instantly the body is like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" So we're really drinking water and just being hydrated, that can detoxify your body. You can feel amazing in an instant if you drink water first thing in the morning. Then I stretch my body and really think it for, set some intentions for the day. Doesn't have to be like a half an hour session. I do like 5-minute stretches just to kind of wake my body up, do some stretches, and really finding the stretches that feel good in your body. There are some yoga poses out there where I'm like, no, not early in the morning. I'm not ready for that. Then I pull a card. I have a lot of oracle card sets and just intuitively trust which one is calling me. Journal with that card and just, write down everything that's in my head, because I think especially as mothers, we have like the to-do list, this is on my mind and this is on my mind, and writing it down can really help to just make space and be mindful. And then I have a cold shower. So a lot of people are like, cold shower, no way. I started with just having a hot shower and then turning it cold for the first 10 seconds. And the next day it would be like the 30 seconds, making it really cold and talking to yourself and literally, but I can do hard things, and really empowering yourself through that cold water and just be like, I'm washing away any negativity, I'm cleansing, and just, talk yourself through it, say whatever you need to say to make it to 10 seconds if you're just starting. And then eventually it will be like, waking you up and making you feel like, I'm liberated. I already had a cold shower. I can do anything. And then in the mirror, I either tune some I am affirmations on my playlist, or I say them to myself, whatever I'm working on at the moment. That could be I am whole, I am worthy, I am beautiful, I am enough. Whatever affirmation is, basically whatever you're feeling at the moment that is negative, choose the opposite affirmation. So if you're not feeling worthy, I am feeling worthy. It's just saying it either 3 times or however many times you need to make it come true a little bit more each day. And then I have a beautiful rose quartz crystal that I kind of massage my face with just to feel nice and, loving touch on yourself. I think a lot of the times we blame the partner for not hugging us enough or this and that, but then
Yeah.
I really invite you to say, do you touch yourself with love? Like, we don't always need to outsource these things. We can really give ourselves a hug. We can touch ourselves with a lot of gentleness if we're craving that. So giving to yourself what you want from others, basically, before you even leave the house, can really impact how you feel it on the day.
Yeah.
And
So
then the chaos starts with breakfast and lunchboxes and kids and trying to get them to school on time. And then I come home, I have a cacao, and again, I kind of set intentions, I do some breathing. And I think breath work is a really beautiful tool to tune into empowerment, because it helps you reclaim that power. A lot of the times we only using, I don't know how many percent it was, but we use a really small percentage of our actual breath. We don't fill our lungs to the capacity that we could. So really breathing in deeply into the nose, filling your lungs completely, and then exhaling longer, really extending the exhale can regulate our nervous system, create that safety within our body. And often it's in the moment when we feel stress, when we feel anxiety, our breath can really help us to feel calm and feel balanced. And it's like, I don't need anything. I just need to breathe, like reclaiming that power of like, I can do this. I just need to consciously connect to my breath. Depending on the day, I have a nap if I can. I love my sleep. I'm a very big fan of, my 8 hour sleep at night. And if I have time during the day, have a nap. And then my evening routine is very much, again, journaling sometimes just a chai. I have a Shakti mat that I lie on, so acupuncture for the relaxation before bed. And again, trying to go to bed early, I turn my phone off an hour before I go to bed. Phones are not allowed in our bedrooms.
same here.
Little things like that really make a difference. Like if you sleep better, you feel better. If you sleep better, you look better,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
So all of these things, this might sound like a lot to people who are like, oh, I don't know where to start. Just start with the water. Just start with drinking water in the morning, and you might feel amazing, and you might feel your skin is clearing up. You might, those are other things. You can avoid sugar, then your skin will be better. being outside for at least 5 minutes, either putting your feet on the grass or just having fresh air, sunlight, all of these very much, natural things, coming back to how did we live 100 years ago? What did we do?
Yes.
Tuning back to that, eating
Yeah.
fruit, drinking water, like really the basics, but it makes all the difference to feel liberated and empowered in your body. I think often we get so busy with I need to make money, I need to look after the kids, I need to do this, that we actually really forget about our body and our health. And the better we look after ourselves, the better we nurture ourselves, not just nurture others, but nurture ourselves, the better we feel. And
Mm.
actually, the better we can look after others as well. So, always looking after yourself before you give to others, not giving from an empty cup, but really giving from an overflowing cup.
Yeah, I love that. It's, yeah, absolutely critical, isn't it? And going back to basics, the water, the going to bed early. I mean, back in the day, they didn't have they didn't have electricity to even, light the evenings. So they would just go to bed when the sun went down. So, and I just think learning from our ancestors is so empowering. Like, what did they used to do? Like, I know obviously, like we've got modern medicine and things now, so our life expectancy is longer and everything. But um, yeah, just really pulling everything back to basics. Like, do you really need to be spending all this time on your phone? Do you really need to be slapping yourself in all this makeup? Do you really need to be wearing the most expensive clothes? Like, as long as you've got some clothes to go out and keep warm, kind of thing.
Yeah,
And yeah, and so you've shared a lot of tips that you do. So do you get up earlier before your children to do all that, or do you do it where your children are around, or a bit of both?
I do. All my children are around. I
Yeah.
don't really have the option because my kids get up at 5:30 every morning, and I'm not getting up before that.
No.
But I think it's a matter of either involving them or letting them, with the yoga, sometimes they climb all over me and just being okay with it
Yeah.
and just being, let's have our water. And they're at a good age now where they have their own little list of things to do in the morning where they drink their water, they take their vitamin C's,
Yeah.
they sometimes do the stretches with me, they make their bed, they have their little routines. And I believe kids strive on routines. When they know what to expect, they feel safety, they feel comfortable because they know what's happening.
Yeah. And again, like because I'm also I will do all my self-care stuff with my boys around, or when they're not around. I think a lot of women find or feel that, well, I can't do my yoga because the kids are around. I can't do this
Mm,
because the kids are around. I need to have like completely segmented time. But actually, I feel that when we do it with our kids or in front of our kids or whatever, then one, our kids are learning this well-being mindset and all of that for themselves. We're role modeling. And two, um that's setting boundaries for mums, like,
mm,
okay, I need this time for me so I can be a better mum to you.
yeah,
And
yeah,
they actually, I feel my children, they respect me more for that, for my honesty and my integrity, and for my standing in my truth, my power, saying no, I will come in. My son came in yesterday while I was lying on the floor doing like spinal twist. He's like, Mom, where's it? I was like, I'll find it in a minute.
mm,
Oh, like, but he's like, okay, I don't know, but
yeah,
usually he doesn't come in even. Normally they know that if the door's shut, they've come in,
mm.
join me, watch, or they just walk straight past. And that's our little thing for my yoga. So I think it's so empowering to teach our children.
Boundaries are important, and I definitely like when I drink my cacao, my kids know kind of I have my bubble, and I'm like, don't enter my bubble while I drink my
Yeah.
cacao. I've
Yeah.
spilled cacao once, and I literally lost the plot. I was like, this is not
Oh,
good. This is like, give me space while I drink my cacao, please. But yeah, it's definitely a learning curve. I do think, however, depending on the kids' ages, but there's definitely a place for me time and being, whether that's a walk on by yourself, like as a mum, solitude, because you so touched out sometimes. You just worry about them all the time. They're always needing something. Like I've been a mother for 8 years, and it feels like you're always a little bit on edge and always like ready to jump.
yes. Yes.
So having me time and real solitude where they're not just asleep, but you actually leave the house and leave them with someone who you trust,
Yeah.
that can really help your mental health through motherhood, I believe.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's again it, but that's setting like a boundary. It's like, okay, I actually
Mm,
really need some time for myself now. And
balance.
being able to ask somebody as well, could you just look after the kids, or or I am going to have this time for myself while they're at school, or I don't know,
Mm,
whatever works for you really. But yeah, it's yeah, balance of time on your own and time doing stuff
mm.
with them. Wow, this has been a fabulous chat. It's just such an important topic to talk about. Helping yourself feel really good, like you have the power at the end of the day.
Mm.
Feel good, and when you believe that, nobody can take that away from you. And the
I
fact that
think that brings me to one of the things that I really say a lot in my work. It's like a lot of my clients, they think they do a sexy shoot or a boudoir or nudity shoot for their partner, and I always ask, why does it need to be for someone else? Why can't you do it for yourself? And like reclaiming that power. It's like, this is for me to feel good. Yes, my partner might enjoy them too, but it's a reclamation of self. Of this is for me, for my own empowerment, for me to feel good, and not needing it to be about anybody else.
yeah, fantastic. Yeah, it's all about you. It's all about you.
Mm.
Definitely.
Nobody will take care of you if you don't. Like, it's literally like we need to, yeah, take that self responsibility.
Definitely. Oh, amazing. Yes, so radical self-responsibility.
Mm.
Yeah. And you have to start by drinking some water every morning. Not the
Yeah, that would
coffee.
that would be my
Or,
tips. Start with one thing a day. Don't
yeah,
don't do the whole list that I was sharing. That's very much a over time that I built that. And
yeah,
yeah, stay off your phone. Like, I think a lot of us, it's an addiction and it may be a distraction, but it can also be quite damaging. And really being again with woman empowerment and liberation, what people do you follow and why do you follow them? And being really like, again, boundaries. Follow people that inspire you, follow people
yeah,
no matter what you desire, whatever is feeling with integrity to you. For me, that is a lot of people with armpit hair, because I'm like, okay, there's my sister, she doesn't care what people think. But if I was following a lot of Victoria's Secret models, it probably would tell me that I'm doing it wrong.
yeah,
So
yeah. You need to follow
yeah.
people that, yeah, definitely inspire you and don't make you doubt yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
And remember that, some of it's not true anyway. I
Yes.
saw this thing on, I think it was Facebook the other day, of a mum was at the pool. She turned up with matching swimsuit with her daughter, and they were both immaculately dressed and everything. So this was witnessed by another mum who felt really messy and unkept, and her kids were covered in, I don't know, ice cream and snot and whatever. But they were having a great time. And this mum came, the mum that was all immaculate, she came, sat on the sun lounger, um and then spent the whole time on her phone while the little girl was in the pool. And it made the other mum, who was feeling messy, like reflect, well, actually, I'm having
Mm.
fun. I am having a good time with my
A
kids.
better connection.
My kids will remember the fact that,
Mm.
we've been playing around in the pool and everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not all true, is it, what we see as well on.
No, and often we assume just from a photo on Instagram that, their people's life must be like it's a highlight reel. We think they have it all together, it all looks perfect. And I'm a big believer in authenticity and like showing all of it, not just showing the beautiful
Yeah,
things. One of my friends just went to, I think it was Bali with her family, and she's got twins, so she's got her hands full. And she was very much like showing all these amazing photos. I was like, oh my God, you're like taking a family holiday with your twins. And I'm very grateful she did, because I was like, oh my God, that looks so perfect and like literally divine. And then she shared some photos of the kids being upset. I'm like, okay, she was, she still had to deal with tears. It's
yeah,
just part of motherhood, no matter where you are.
yeah, definitely. There's always something, isn't there?
Yep.
The emotions are always going to run up and down.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, for everybody.
Energy, energy and motion, emotions, let them move.
Definitely. Dance. That's my biggest tip, to feel really good.
Mm,
Dance, shift that energy, feel good.
yes. Shake it out,
Just throw that in
release it.
there.
Yes. I love that.
Absolutely. Ah, well, that's so amazing. Thank you so, so much for your time, for sharing all your incredible wisdom and inspiring us all in many ways, I'm sure. Um, so yeah, I will I will love you and leave you. And yeah, thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you for having me.